Hello, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today, I will be talking about something a little bit different from what I have been talking about before. It's a little bit more personal, and I hope that you'll enjoy that. Things that I really enjoy and things that I'm grateful for, I want to take a step back and just think about the good things in life. Now, with everything going on, I want to step back and say, there's a little bit of good going around, you know? We can look beyond the curtain and really think critically about, there's a little bit of good. There's a little bit somewhere. So that's what I'll be talking about today. I hope that you enjoy and yeah. First up is second chance programs, specifically for incarcerated individuals, allowing individuals to get the chance to have a job after their incarceration and being able to provide for themselves, for their families, and stopping the tracks so that these individuals are able to provide for themselves and not go back into prison systems and kind of this entrapment system that now that they are labeled as a felon, a lot of times that cuts off a lot of the opportunities, job opportunities that they are able to get. I'm grateful for those programs that allow people to get back on their feet, being able to provide for themselves because obviously money is needed for shelter, for food, and so if you're not able to provide a legitimate way for funds, then a lot of times these individuals will go back to crime that landed them in prisons in the first place. So these these systems are important and essential so that people are able to find legitimate ways to provide for themselves. Also, I think it's important to put in perspective that one in five incarcerated people in the US are locked up for a drug offense, and most of these offenses are non-violent, just related to drug possession. People are entitled to make mistakes, people are entitled to second chances, and making one bad mistake should not be a lifetime sentence for being in a prison. So yeah, I saw this video the other day on social media of it was some program that allowed incarcerated individuals to do a dance with their children. So they were able to dress up and dance with like their daughters, and I think things like this are really beneficial for both parties, for obviously the children that aren't able to see their parental figures every day on a day-to-day basis, and obviously that has a huge strain on their relationship. But it's also really good for these incarcerated people so that they are able to kind of feel the humanistic quality that prison strips away from them on a day-to-day basis, and being able to see their loved ones and their children especially is really important for these people. And I appreciate these programs that are allowing individuals this simple human feeling and aspect to their lives. I think it's good that they're able to see themselves not as a criminal, but as a father, a parental figure, and someone that is cared about. Food programs and shelters. I am grateful for food banks and food shelters that help people stay nourished. I think it's important to stay close with those near us, like particularly neighbors. I have been trying to do that thing where you ask your neighbor for sugar when you just need a cup of sugar rather than going out to the store to get a cup of sugar. I haven't reached that point yet, but I am looking forward to reaching that point and building those relationships with, people close to us in our community so that we're not so heavily reliant on these large corporations that don't see us as humans. And I think that's really great, something really great to do. I think it's really good to rely on each other. And I've been seeing, especially during the winter time and winter season, I've been seeing a lot of food drives, something great, and it's pretty easy to organize. Also, an overwhelming majority of beneficiaries at food banks are children, and it's a good way to volunteer if you have free time and can, spare your time to do that. Volunteering at food banks are usually pretty low effort, and I feel like easy to sign up for. Also a good way to just socialize with a lot of different variety of people. The few times that I've gone to food banks, it's really like really mixed in terms of like young people, old people, black people, white people. So it's really cool just to see like everyone come together for something like hunger and being able to nourish people. That's essential, you know. People need to live and survive. So yeah, if you have extra time, I recommend finding a food bank and maybe spending some time there this winter. And if not, there's other opportunities. And if that's not your thing, you know, there's other things. One thing I've always said to myself is I don't think I could ever go volunteer at an SPCA because I would just cry. I don't know. I think I would just burst into tears. Even though I don't know. I don't know what they do. Maybe they just feed the like animals or whatever, but I just always said like that would be a no-no for me because I don't, you know. You get it. You get it. But this could be a no-no or whatever the case may be. There's other opportunities. For one of the clubs I was in, we went to volunteer at a food bank, and this was during COVID, so it was like no contact point. So we just like had masks on, and we were just putting the food in people's cars at the time. And a lot of people, most of the people that I saw had kids with them in the car, so you kind of also got to see directly who was benefiting from the food. Farmers markets. Relying on farmers markets for local produce is something that I am grateful for. Being able to support workers directly and seeing the people that are, you know, getting that money rather than going to the grocery store. It's a pretty low socialization location, and something about being able to see the people that directly work on those farms make it such a better experience. And for some of the food markets that I've been to, they have family owned food trucks there as well. Colombian food, Greek food, Italian food. Yeah, it's cool. Planned Parenthood. This is an organization that is continuously advocating for women's simple, repeat it with me, simple rights and providing safe care for women of color specifically too. They work to educate women on their bodies in a safe, understandable, and non-judgmental way, which I think is very, very important. What I commend most about Planned Parenthood is them suing organizations that make simple care for women harder. What we need to see more of is women and women of color in courtrooms and lobbying, speaking, and maybe being a little bit more violent. But we need to see this more. I do recommend volunteering if there is a group near or local to you, especially during voting seasons. This is the most important like, time for them usually, and like when they're needing the most donations and volunteers. So I definitely recommend that. 9 times out of 10, you're going to find some really cool people there. You're going to find some 60, 70, maybe even 80-year olds that are volunteering with you and getting out there. And it's cool to see, but it also is sad to think that like they're doing that because they've seen like the whole circle. It's like they shouldn't be out there. They shouldn't have to be out there, but they are because they know it's important, and it's really cool just to see, you know, that variety of people that are volunteering and know how important this care is for women. Something I recently discovered that's not essential at all is zero waste shops. It's not really essential if you're not into like no plastic or don't even care about like minimizing your waste. It's not even for that. These shops just have like nice things. They offer natural cleansers and care and soap and oral care and a whole bunch of other things like that. I think like really good gifts this year. It's just nice to give money to these smaller shops rather than nightmare corporations like Target that are soulless and don't care about anyone, and don't care about the customers that they are getting the most money from. I think a lot of consumers are being more mindful this year about where they're spending their money. And that's a really good trend to see, especially during the holiday season when people tend to spend a little bit more. We know now more than ever that companies use our money that we give to them to spend on policies that hurt us, politicians that hurt us. And so a lot of people are trying to be more conscious about where they're spending their money. And for these corporations, I want to see things going like this. I think that would be cool. I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see what would happen. I just think it'd be fun to see the things go down, 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 and down and down, you know? Feminist bookstores. I don't mean to sound, like out there, but they are just cool. And honestly, I only know of one and I'm on their website. Just kidding. I'm like on one of their pages and you can see the side of my face. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Once again, this is about community. I actually found out about a pen pal program with incarcerated people through a feminist bookstore that I was going to, and just about like other events that were at the time focused on Palestinian aid and other things like that. But these are just really cool places. I feel like you can get more curated books that are focused on women experiences, black experiences, gay experiences, trans, etc., whatever. But it makes it a lot easier to find black authors for me specifically, which can be sometimes difficult in like city libraries or public libraries for some reason. And I've been trying to read more black authored books if you haven't been noticing. This kind of started because I just looked at my book collection and 90% of the authors were white and I just thought that was kind of weird. It wasn't something that I like thought of. I just pick up books whenever and read them if I find them interesting, but I just thought that was a bit sad and weird. So, especially as a black person, so I was like, maybe I should at least try to find more black author books, and so that's what I've been doing. And feminist bookstores are a very helpful way for me to do that, and they have cool events. They also have book clubs if that's something that you're into. I've never been to one, but if you're into that, get into that. Yeah. This upcoming February, we need to do more. We need to throw fire in the streets. We need to paint the White House black. We need to do something bigger this year. I swear last year for Black History Month, I saw no decorations, I saw nothing. Nobody was doing anything. Stores weren't doing anything. Offices weren't doing anything. No one cared. And this year we need to do better. The people that are in charge of events, decorations, honoring holidays, whatever, please get on it. Please do your job, please. Because we need to see Black history bigger than ever this year. It's really important. We need to know that Black history is here and it's big and it needs to be a lot better than last year because it was nothing last year. It was invisible and it was not good. And yeah, please, please do that. Make it big, please and thank you. The last thing that I'm grateful for is Virginia being a blue state. Yay! This election was fun this year. It was really cool to see. I vividly remember seeing the results and honestly being very, very, very shocked, but very excited, and it was a good feeling. And so I'm just grateful for the upcoming year and the possibilities. Let's together create change, good change that uplifts the majority. Looking for ways to look forward, look up, and see the good around us, whether that may be big or small, is really important for us to do this year when there is so much change going on around us. And for a lot of people, this change has hit them in a very negative way. Unsteady housing situations, having a difficult time saving or affording necessities, or not having much to give this year. There is good somewhere. Thank you so much for listening to me. I really hope you enjoyed this one. This was really fun. And I encourage you to do the same in your life. Find things that you are grateful for, no matter what, with all the things going on around us, staples in your life that you appreciate and you're happy for, and know that good can come. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you so much for listening to me. Please let me know if you enjoyed, and please leave any discussion if you felt really connected to this or anything that I said. Please let me know, and goodbye. Thank you.